Santiago Gómez, estudiante de animación digital.
Hola, mi nombre es Alejandro Escobar, estamos en la materia Seminario de Investigación 2 y nuestro proyecto de investigación se trata sobre la creación de un personaje análogo para la animación.
Hey guys, it's Greg. What I want to do with this video is take a look at head sculpting, and we'll be doing it from scratch this time. So what I'm using right here is Sculpey, and it's an oven-baked clay, and I'm sculpting over a wire armature. Now I usually don't do heads from scratch, but I thought this would be good for a tutorial or a walkthrough. So what I'm doing right now is just adding the clay on and shaping it with my tools to get a rough head shape, and just kind of laying down some structure of the skull and a little bit of the musculature and facial features to keep everything as symmetrical as I can. So not really going into details too much, and I'm using some wax detailing tools and some ball stylus tools for this. And what I did when I laid down the facial features was actually take them off, since this won't harden by itself. I actually baked it, keeping just those eye sockets and some of the bone structure. That way I could come back when that's all solidified and just keep adding on to get those finer details and facial features. So here I'm adding more Sculpey on, and what's cool about this is you can work in a layer and then you can bake it, and that layer will be good to go, and then you can keep adding on and baking as you go. So that's really helpful when you're sculpting like this. So right here I'm just putting some eyeballs in just to get the shape of the eye sockets. They aren't final. Just looking at the brow line, trying to find the shape of the lips. Again, just really sketching and trying to get the face as symmetrical as I can. Now I usually use Abe's epoxy or Fix-It Sculpt, and you might have seen those in some other videos, and that is a material that will dry in about 2 or 3 hours. So that, I don't want to say I'm in a hurry when I use that stuff or in a rush, but that defines like my working time and style. So something like this where I can work on it and it's not going to harden and come back to it, like this Sculpey material is kind of a positive and a negative in some ways, because that way I don't have to commit to anything. And I could just say, I'll put it down and I'll come back to it. But, that does help for refining and constantly going back and forth, trying new things, like that ear right there. I was like, well, let's see how that looks. Didn't like that. Maybe I don't like the shape of the lips. Take them off, try again, look at different reference material. And, we're filming this, so I don't want everything to be predicated on how much time I have to make this certain thing. And we can also see, what looks better on camera. If that was a bad angle, if it was blurry, well, it's dry, it's too late. No, with this we can put it down, I can come back to it and try different things. So it has its advantages. I'm just not used to having this much freedom. So it's kind of like, what do I do with it? How far should I keep going until I say it's done? So right here, I'm getting satisfied with where this layer is at. So what I'm going to do is just work up the details as much as I feel are necessary, and then put it back in the oven, and again saving those eyes for last, and then just doing some test fitting of material and seeing how it fits in there. Alright, so the head's been baked, and I went ahead and filled in one of the eye sockets just to do a little test, seeing what works. Again, using this Sculpey. If I don't like it, I can just scoop it back out. But if I do like it, then I can match the other side as close as possible. And what I'll do for eyes is, if there's like a solid eye socket, either I drill it or, with this you saw me sculpting it, then I'll roll out like 2 little balls of maybe clay or that Fix-It material, which dries rock hard. I glue those in the eye sockets and then sculpt all the flesh around it, and I think that gives you a really good eye. Now for me, the eyes are probably the most crucial part of the head sculpt and the most difficult to get, especially at this scale. Very hard to measure them. I just have to use what I know about proportions and try and make them look, like a human being, and if I'm referencing something, trying to make it look like that person's eyes. just so they're not crooked, because I could throw the whole thing off. So in the background you'll see I have a large like head cast, and I like to work off like a 3D reference, that way I can see it from all angles and see like, okay, well here's how the eyes work. Try and replicate that. And usually for a custom head I'll pick a head with really well defined eye detail, like around like eyelids or something, and I'll Dremel the whole head down except for that little part with the eyes, and then sculpt around that, just so I don't have to deal with eyes. But for this tutorial, I just wanted to show, you know, from scratch, and then just go about it this way. Alright guys, next time we'll be back with a painting tutorial, painting the head sculpt. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more custom reviews and making of videos.
If you want to see the 30-minute version of this video with audio commentary and a full list of products I used, please check out patreon.com/TinaUArt. want to stalk me on my social media, I have Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, and all the links are down below, so make sure to check them out. Please hit that like button and subscribe. That will mean so much to me. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!